Hi, this is Kathie. Thanks for joining me today. Welcome to Craft with Kathie. I'm going to be using a couple different things today with a little bit of a focus on hearts. This is actually from the house transfers, and I want to use this transfer on the house cutout. These are nice wood, sturdy wooden shelf sitters. They're about 3/4 of an inch thick, and I just thought this would look really nice on here. And then I'm going to also do a few hearts. Our heart cutouts are made out of the same type of wood as the house. Nice, sturdy, substantial little shelf sitters. Oops. They actually come 2 in a package of 2 different shapes. So let's get started. And my theme, what I'm doing this to coordinate with, happens to be a beaded garland, a beaded and heart garland that I already made, that were in the colors of gold, white, and mauve. And as you probably know, Mauvelous is one of my favorite paste colors. So we have white, here's our gold, here's our mauve. It'll coordinate perfectly. So let's get started. I've already obviously used this before, written on the back the name of it. I need to fuzz it before I apply it to my surface. And I do that just by applying it to a fuzzing cloth and then lifting it off. I'm deliberately putting lint on the transfer so that it's not difficult and doesn't stick too tightly to the surface. I actually probably, as this has been used a few times, I probably didn't really need to fuzz that as much as I did. I want to make sure I get family to fit all the way on there. It's a little close. Let's adjust a bit. And then smooth this down. I'll turn it over to see if it's straight. No, it's a little crooked. Let's try this way. Oops. Sometimes if I'm working with a transfer that is actually larger than my surface, it's easier to align it by putting the surface on the transfer. Okay, and that way I could tell that it's straight, I think. Maybe not. I'm a little crooked again. Let's do this one more time here. Oops. I want to make sure I get all the letters in there. Okay, I think this looks good. There we go. Oops. And chalk paste. And here we go. I've already stirred these up. And I'm going to just apply a little pressure here, squeezing the chalk paste through the silk screen of the transfer, and then replacing any excess chalk paste back in my jar. Making sure there's no lines and that I have good coverage. Make sure that's on nice and tight. And that was a shimmer gold, which is a beautiful shimmery color. I love all the shimmer pastes, honestly. They're such fun to work with. Okay, let's peel and reveal. Wow, nice and quick, huh? What do you think? So I'm going to set this aside to dry and get started on the hearts. I'm going to put my transfer in a little water bath. Okay, the hearts I haven't used yet. This happens to be a C-size transfer, which makes it, oh, what are we looking at? 12 by 18, I think. Yep, 12 by 18. And you notice this transfer has lines in it. These are actually cut lines or guidelines for cutting it apart into 4 separate pieces. And if you notice, we have 2 for the smaller hearts and then 2 for the larger. And of course you could use anything else you wanted on the hearts if you wanted to. I was actually thinking of using this, let your heart be your compass on one. Kind of fitting, don't you think? Just an idea. So you can mix and match to suit your needs or your tastes. My fingernails are shot. All this hand washing because of the virus is taking its toll on my hands and on my nails. Which I know I should put lotion on before I go to bed and then put some gloves on or something, but I haven't been. And I really do know that I need to do it because my hands are getting pretty raw. Okay, all of our transfers come in like this cellophane that you can use it to actually store into, and they're labeled with the name of it, and this is called Heart Patterns, and this happens to be the item number, by the way. And you can see it begins with a C that tells you what size it is. So I'm going to just write Heart Patterns on the back of it. Maybe I should cut this apart first and then write on each of them. I'm going to use my transfer trimmers. These are Teflon coated scissors that are specially made to work very well with the transfers because our transfers have adhesive on the back of them, which allows us to get a nice snug fit on any surface that we're applying it to. Cutting through that adhesive or their stickiness can gum up the blades of a lot of scissors, but not our transfer trimmers because of their coating. And they have a little bit longer of a blade, which makes cutting transfers apart very quick and easy. Do you decorate for Valentine's? If you do you go with traditional red or go more with pinks? Or do you change year by year? This year the mauves really got my eye. It's a good excuse for me to make everything mauve. What can I say? The transfers have a backing so that, well, basically for storage, because like I said, they have an adhesive back So we need to put something against that adhesive so that it doesn't stick to anything else. So let's see. I think I'm going to go with this on the large heart. Our transfers are made of vinyl, which is the teal, and silk screen, which is what we're seeing through here. It's you can see through it. It's like a mesh or a fabric, and you're seeing the transfer, the backing through it. And the silk screen allows us to get very nice definition when we're chalking, as opposed to using vinyl or stencils. We get things that are much a better definition, much clearer. So as you can see, the silk screen is clear, and we push the paste through that onto our surface. So first I need to fuzz this. Again, deliberately putting lint on the back of the transfer so that it doesn't stick too snugly to our surface. Actually, not quite as necessary on wood, but if I was doing this on a mirror, and yes, you can use our transfers on mirrors. Our transfers are reusable 8 to 12 times or more with proper care. So if I was using this on glass, mirror, metal, I would fuzz a little bit more than I would for wood, because it'll stick much more strongly to a glass or metal surface. This one's pretty sticky. It's a brand new transfer, and you can feel when you pull it off the fuzzing cloth that it gives you a little bit more resistance than my last one did. And when you wash them, when you clean your transfers, you basically just remove all that lint. And of course any paste. Oops, I'm stuck to it. Maybe this wasn't a good idea, putting it on this way. Let's try it a little bit differently here. I just want it lined up very nicely. Oops, stuck to my surface here. Okay, I think this goes well, and I think I'm going to do this in, decisions, right? Should I do this in the shimmer or should I do this in the mauve? Now the paste is going to go through the silk screen, so the word love is still going to be showing up in white. I've got a little air bubble in there, so let me make sure I get rid of that. When you have large sections of silk screen, you want to make sure that you don't have any air bubbles, because you want that paste to go through nice and evenly. Okay, decision, mauve or gold. I think I'm going to go with the mauve. Usually I use a little stir stick to apply my paste, my transfer. A little clump there. Oops. A little bit off the edge. Want to remove any lines that I have. Go right up to the edge there. Get this cleaned up a little bit. We need a little bit more for the top. And I want to make sure I go right to the edge and get get paste through every part of that silk screen. There we go. And I think that's looking pretty good. Putting the excess paste back in my jar. Oops, I have one little piece there that I could see a little silk screen. Got that. Okay, I think it looks pretty good. Now the only thing with these cutouts is I need a way to hold on to them. There we go. Wow, what do you think? Ooh, I love that one. And as our cutouts have two sides, like a piece of paper or a piece of wood, I could actually do the other side with the other transfer as soon as this dries. Let me put this in a water bath. Ah, got it stuck to my fingers. There we go. So you can see how quick and easy this goes. Now let's go with the smaller one. And which one did I want to do? Oh goodness, decisions. The polka dots? Or the X's and the O's? I think the X's and the O's. What do you think? Oh, I think that'd be great. And then my X's and my O's will be white, and the silkscreen area will be the gold. So once again, let me fuzz this. Oops. Well, you can see when I pull this up how shiny the back of the transfer is. This is the adhesive side. See how it's sticking to my finger? This is the transfer sheet. One side is shiny. The shiny side gets put against the sticky side. The other side is dull, and that's the side that I labeled. The reason behind labeling it is so that I know easily that this particular backing goes to this transfer. If I'm especially useful if I'm working with more than one set of transfers at a time. And also it's an indication of the dull side so that I don't inadvertently put the adhesive side to the dull side. So just an extra little tip there. Ah, very sticky. A little off center there. I'm going to try lining up the top of my heart first. And then when I think I have it in place, press it down and do the rest of it. Oops, it's a little bit off. A little air bubble. Let me take care of that. Okay, and sometimes it's easier to just feel with your fingers to make sure there aren't any air bubbles. Okay, and we were going to go with gold for this one. Need a little bit more paste here. A little bit trickier than on a larger surface because I can't actually start above it when I start pressing the chalk through because there's no surface underneath it. So this silk screen goes right up to the edge of the cutouts. So it takes a teeny bit more patience than normal. And I want to make sure I get every little bit of that. Oops, I might have a little air bubble there. I see a section where it doesn't look like it went through the silk screen pass quite right. Same with right there. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Get rid of all my lines. Now when I lift the transfer, I never want to lift it diagonally. I always want to either lift from the top or the bottom or the left or the right. Pulling it diagonally could actually stretch it, because it'd be basically like pulling a fabric on the bias and stretching it. So let me see if I can gain purchase here and lift this off. Oh wow. Cute. But I didn't have it quite lined up there, so I'm going to quickly clean this off so that I could take another stab at it. And I'm just spritzing it with water. I'm going to grab a little bit of a paper towel. Usually I use Clorox wipes to clean my transfers, and paper towels, and water to clean my surfaces. Now this is wood. If I had let that dry on here, most likely I wouldn't have been able to remove it, because the chalk paste can stain wood. Now our chalkboards are reusable. Our premium chalkboards, our magnetic chalkboards, have the added feature of being magnetic. They're beautiful boards and they come with a 50-year warranty. So you can imagine how much use you can get out of them. But when you're applying our paste or our inks to wood, or well, obviously fabric for the inks, it's permanent. So if I move quickly to get the paste off the surface, sometimes I'm lucky enough to do it. And this actually cleaned up very well. So now let me clean up this transfer. Normally I would throw it in a water bath, but because it's relatively small, I'm just going to wet my surface here. And wipe it down. First the front and then the back. And let me get a disinfecting wipe. Did I put it down the wrong way? No, I've got it. Just looked awful dark to me. Okay, so I've just wiped off the chalk off the front. And now I'm going to wipe the chalk and the lint off the back. So you can see how quick and easy cleanup is here. So let me clean my work surface a little bit also. And then I'll show you a trick with our fuzzing towels. Our fuzzing towels are two-sided. One side is like a terry that we use to deliberately apply fuzz. The other side is more like a microfiber. Oops, I've got something that was spilled on the end. The microfiber side we can use to actually clean our chalkboards nicely, but it also can be used to dry our transfers a little bit more quickly. I am putting this on the microfiber side, sticky side up, and then I'm folding it over and just squeezing all the moisture out. This also makes the back a little bit more sticky. Now I'm going to leave this on the fuzzing towel to dry. It's going to take a few minutes to dry. So let me find a surface to put this on. Oh, let's just try over here. So for me to redo that, I have to wait for the transfer to dry, but in the meantime, if you, like me, are struggling with raw chapped fingers and hands due to all the hand washing, let me show you a little trick or a little tip I found that really helps. I think the best thing for me, I think, is Aquifer moisturizers my hands better than anything else. But the best thing to do is obviously wash your hands, put the lotion on them before bed, and then if you had white gloves, put the white gloves on. However, if you don't have white gloves, get a pair of white socks. Cut off the toe. Cut a little bit out of the heel. And then depending upon the size of your hands, you may or may not want this going up your forearm. I don't like it going up too high, but I'm going to leave a little bit of the ribbing on here so that they stay on while I sleep. And then basically, after you lotion your hands, put your thumb through the toe, through the heel area. I'd have to shorten these up a little bit, and then your hands to the rest. And I have to admit, soothing, comforting, and you'll be amazed at the difference in the morning. Okay, necessity is the mother of invention. What could I say? My hands were so bad they were bleeding. It was like, okay, I have to do something. So yes, covers it nicely, and I'm wearing them tonight. Okay, let me clean up a bit. This isn't, well, it's almost dry. I could actually use a heat, not a heat tool, a dryer to dry it. One of our new products in the new catalog is a drying tool. It looks just like a heat tool, but it is not a heat tool. A heat tool is actually too hot of heat and actually can melt our transfers. So this tool is just perfect for drying what we've chalked so that we can go on and maybe do the other side or continue and put another layer on. What do you think? Oh, don't they go together very nicely? So I'm not ready to do the other side of this because I think it just needs to dry a teeny bit more. So let me put that aside and see how this other transfer is. I'm sure it's not quite dry just yet. Oh, it is pretty sticky. Maybe we're ready to go. Oops, very sticky. Okay. So let's fuzz it. See how I end up getting chalk paste on my fuzzing towel by leaving the squeegees out there. I've never been one to clean as I go, I have to admit. I'm so anxious sometimes to go forward with things that I just keep plowing ahead and then have to handle everything at the end. Okay, I'm going to try putting this on the way I did the other one. I think it worked easier for me. Ooh, my fingers are sticking to it. Okay, this is right up to the edge, so I'm not going to have a gap. Now this transfer is actually just a teeny bit larger than the surface, so there is going to be a little bit of overhang, which is fine. I just want to make sure I have everything covered the way I want. And get that little indent there on my heart. Okay. I think that'll work good. Let's take a second stab at this one. Should go right up to the edge. Oops, off the edge. I have my hand underneath holding the wood in place, and I keep getting the transfer sticking to my fingers a little bit here. But I think we're okay. This is looking pretty good. I remove the excess. And I just want to get a closer look. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to lift from the top again. Oh yeah. How cool is that? So I'm going to set this aside to dry. And our shelf setters could sit like this. Now, wouldn't these look adorable with some ribbon around them? What do you think? Wishing you everyone a wonderful Valentine's. Thank you for joining me today. I surely do appreciate it. Please like or share this video if you found it useful or enjoyable. And I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful life.